I haven't dropped my thoughts on Stranger Things yet publicly. I think I don't want to sound like I'm hating too much, but guys just care about hype moments, and you not care about how bad the filmmaking actually is.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Culture Circuit. And here with me today, I have Ahil Itzy Reviews. I have Majeeto, aka Muhammad. You might know him as Majeeto. And I have Nox Voyager, aka Kevin Sebastian. And today we are in a different place, also known as the Creators HQ. We are
Super excited. It's a different spot, but it's very chill and looks really good.
We are way more professional.
Way more. It's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade.
But this episode is the ultimate Mojito collab, so he's the
Yeah.
king of horror, and we are super glad for him to be joining us today.
Mojito with Culture Circuit.
Because
So
Loving it.
loving. Cool. So I wanted to start off with asking you, what movie made you have ignited your passion for film?
Honestly, it's weird because I've loved cinema my whole life. So it's probably the easiest answer is would be Avengers, because I started that's one of the biggest movies that got me into theater,
Mm-hmm.
the theater experiences and whatnot. But I think after the years and when I got deeper into what I was doing and stuff, movies like Evil Dead 2, Eternal Sunshine, and these types of movies are like cornerstones into who I am
Okay.
and help build my taste. And Punch Drunk Love as well. I tell you about that movie a million
Yes,
times.
I need to watch it. I get it. I'll watch it.
And my taste just keeps on growing and growing, and yeah.
there's a huge list of Mojito movies that he keeps recommending,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
all need to watch
Yeah,
them.
No, we will towards the end of this whole episode. We'll go for a top 10 movies Majeeto rates,
Yeah.
and then
But
we
one
need
thing
to.
I would, give him credit for, he recommended Dumb and Dumber, and that was one of the best comedies I've ever
He
seen.
doesn't like it, man. I don't know how you don't find this. Habban, he's always on his phone. Whenever we watch a movie at the place Myriad, he's tick, 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 tick. One of my biggest pet
This
peeves
new generation.
ever.
Kevin would had to say something.
yeah, no, absolutely. I know I was seeing some of the opinions you had on your Instagram, and I was following you
Yeah.
recently as well. And you think very much like a millennial in terms of your movie taste, actually. Not millennial,
No, I know what you mean.
90s, 80s,
Yeah.
late 80s, 90s millennial. Is that something that has stayed with you as a generation thing? Because I know you're closer to them in age, but
Yeah,
and we make the joke on the podcast every time about how I'm the
yeah.
The old one.
ancient
You have
ancient
company
one.
today, Kevin.
But yeah, the tastes are almost the same in
Yeah.
that sense. But then what drew you to the
Because-
older stuff?
For someone like me, it's the older stuff feels more soulful, and it's easier to get into the older stuff. There's way more stuff to explore, and it's just there's a lot more variety. And as someone who's a horror fan as well, there's
Mhm.
much more different in-depth stuff like 80s horror. That's one of the best golden age of horror, and especially David Lynch era of cinema before the 90s and the 80s and whatnot.
Any particular films of his?
I did talk about Wild at Heart recently on Instagram. I love Wild at Heart. Mulholland Drive, that was from 2001.
Yeah, which is funny because Mulholland
but,
Drive
yeah,
isn't
it's after 90s.
traditionally a horror movie in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sense, right? It's a uncanny valley is the word I'm going to
Yeah.
use here.
But it's also
Yeah.
more like a thriller. That is more. All of his movies are very thriller, surrealism type of movies. I think Eraserhead is more of his horror-esque type of film, as well as Blue Velvet. That movie is top
Because
tier.
Majeeto had recommended me to watch Twin Peaks, and I kept delaying
Yeah.
it for the longest
yeah.
time.
But is it really good?
And then I started watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Hooks you instantly.
Yeah,
Instant
yeah,
hook.
yeah.
The first 5 minutes, I give I used to think Stranger Things was that show that I recommend everyone, based on the hook. No spoil. At this point, you should know this. Will Byers is the kid who disappears, and
Yeah.
that's the hook of the show, which
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
everyone into it. And then when I watched Twin Peaks, I realized oh my god, there's a whole bunch of horror media that has stemmed from this. There's this small town mystery where someone disappears out of nowhere, and so the people of that town are affected by
I
it
need
as
to
a
watch
whole.
the ASAP. I'm going home.
Like this,
watching
but
it.
these
Yeah,
are
but Twin Peaks, you also have to understand, Twin Peaks is a very slow burn
Okay.
because of the amount of seasons
Yeah.
that there is and the amount of storytelling that
there's
goes.
3 seasons, right?
Yeah, three
Yeah,
seasons.
three
But
seasons,
But
but again,
long
some
episodes.
like these are long, very like almost like each episode's like cinematic by itself. Like I think
Yeah.
he was ahead of his time as well. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but again, with the age of
Again,
like
what year is this?
this is in the
Like
80s, 80s,
early
90s,
90s.
Early
early
90s,
90s, I would
90s,
say.
90s.
Yeah, Twin Peaks is early 90s.
But it ran for the third season came in like they started filming it in 2014,
Yeah,
and then like it aired in like 2017.
Well, what was
But the
the what
third
was the
season-
huge gap?
The third because like David Lynch had the idea like because at the end of I think the movie or the end of season 2 in the finale
Mm-hmm.
it was like I'll see in like a dream sequence. It's like I'll see you in 25 years. So like 25 years later, it's like
he took that quite
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
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 Damn.
yeah.
Oh,
Which is
yo,
so perfect.
okay,
Okay,
that
okay.
is.
yeah.
So and then like yes, the third season, like absolute television.
Absolute
Yeah.
yeah. Like I think the third season is the best season out of every like television season ever.
And that's saying something, right? Like, I make this comment about Hollywood lately, and again, this applies to the majority of shows, not some of the stuff that that has been breaking out.
Yeah,
They know how to start a good show, but very few know how to finish it.
yeah,
Was this one of those cases?
Yeah, Twin Peaks ended exactly how it should have. Honestly,
perfect.
perfectly. You couldn't have gotten wrong with the way it was done. Like, on par with like some of the other shows in the way that it ended. Where like examples are Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I haven't
It
seen
ended
Breaking
exactly.
I also like
Yeah.
what they did with Severance, actually.
Yeah, but Severance is not over yet. That's
Yeah,
the thing,
yeah,
right? It's
fair,
still
yeah.
it's still like it hooks onto you. And I think what we're missing now in the age of streaming, and I'm sure all three of you will have very different opinions about this, is I think the mystery of waiting,
Oh,
yes.
the illusion of
Oh.
waiting. Like,
I think
I
when
feel
I was
mixed.
growing up,
yeah,
I had to go through a lot of that waiting time.
Yeah.
Watching cartoons, especially cartoons.
Yeah.
Like every Saturday, a new episode
Yeah.
would drop. I had that to this, but nowadays it's completely different.
But would you choose like binge watching or like just waiting for it as a week?
It depends. It really depends. Like something like Peacemaker, let's say, the weekly format is fun. Like
Yeah.
it works better because you don't really have a huge cliffhanger of like endings every episode. It's like it naturally flows.
Mhm.
But then Netflix's model, like the way they produce their television series, every episode ends on a big hook, cliffhanger, which makes you need the next episode.
No, for me personally,
ASAP.
I hate binge watching because I
Why?
cannot consume that amount of media in a day. Like I have to keep myself hooked so I can come back to the
and that's
show. I can
telling,
engage.
right? Because
Yeah.
your generation is designed to consume as much as you can in
Yeah.
that limited amount of
Programmed.
time, like a program, more or less. And this is my argument with Netflix now. And we're recording this obviously today, and we've just found out the news that they've acquired Warner Brothers Discovery. And I'm not sure what to feel about this because, and I think there was this interesting YouTube video I saw about the way they shoot Netflix movies and the way they shoot nowadays.
Oh yeah, very
And it-
Netflixification.
The Netflixification of movies where everything's flat.
And
Yes.
recently it happened with Frankenstein, even though
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
very set, like Guillermo del Toro is one of the finest directors I've
Yeah.
known. And Frankenstein, literally, like piece by piece, you can literally feel that it feels like a Netflix movie,
Yeah.
It's
I
not
haven't seen it
something.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm waiting to watch it
it's
in a theater.
they again because of the way they shoot with the cameras they're shooting, and this is also like you can tell an Apple TV show, you can tell an Apple TV movie.
Like F1, for example.
F1, for example, like you could tell, like even on the cinema screen, like the kind of cameras they've used that make it give that Apple look to it.
They've even done
Yeah.
like special cameras that put inside the car for this
Yeah,
movie.
absolutely. So the whole point is like they have lost depth.
yeah,
And I didn't think about it as well because it's very subtle. These are very subtle things,
Yes.
right? Like when you look at a Netflix movie, it's like Netflix is not a broadcaster to us; it's a software.
Mhm.
And this is now me being talking in technical
Mhm.
journalist terms because Spotify, Netflix, these are designed for you to stay on the app as long as possible,
Exactly.
like taking full amount of your time, which is why, like again, let's even like I don't know if you all watch Stranger Things.
Yeah.
We've caught
Yeah,
up
we
with it
did.
Yeah,
as
we're
well.
all.
And no spoilers obviously, but their release schedule as well. It's weird because Volume 1 was a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
and Volume 2 is now because we're filming today. It's coming in a few days for Christmas, and volume 3 is literally when we watch it, it'll be Jan 1st.
Jan first, yeah.
And this is such a weird thing because on season 5 volume 1, I'm starting to fall out of love with these characters, not for any other reason other than the fact that I've waited far too long.
Yeah.
My investment in the story has dropped considerably.
Fair
And
enough.
but to be said, like, I'm still psyched for the ending. I still want to see how this plays
Uh-huh.
out, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of story packed into these episodes that I'm having trouble keeping up.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel the same way. I feel like I haven't dropped my thoughts on Stranger Things yet publicly. I think this is my first time like dropping my thoughts
Yeah.
publicly.
Exclusive.
But
Yeah.
oh boy, like just especially from like these episodes and like seeing the like also seeing the audience reactions online. That's what's been like fueling my like hatred for the show. I think like I've been hating the show more and more.
It's a hate watch now at this point. You want to see it
Yeah.
through.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I'm hating too much, but like oh my god, like people care too much about hype moments and aura moments. Like you
Yes.
guys admire like oh my god, that
No,
ending.
I mean, like, it's cool.
As a fan, you know,
Yeah.
It's
that's
cool because
Hear me
no,
out, hear me out, hear me
I'm
out.
invested in these characters.
I
yeah,
know,
I
know,
mean,
but
I've
like-
grown up with these characters. Obviously, I will care
like,
for them.
I know, but even like I had this experience even like in a group chat like with a few other friends, and then they were like all like talking about that like ending, and they were all hyped and everything. I was like, bro, I was sending like that one Jonah Hill gif like where he's doing like, I was like, you guys just care about like hype moments, and you like not care about like how bad the filmmaking actually is and how shitty the writing is.
I'm actually going to pause right there because I want to. This is something very interesting, right? Because we live in our region, right? And this is going to be a very
Yeah.
tough question to all of us, actually. Because when influencers and creators and the critics and the media get all invited in the same room,
Yeah.
obviously some people think differently on the same space because you're talking about aura moments, you're talking about hype moments, and the fact that you're viewing it with such satiricism
Yeah.
as well, and you're talking about filmmaking, does it annoy you as well with the kind of people like? Obviously, we are a huge collection of reviewers with very different opinions and very different ways of looking at movies, but does it bug you
In what way?
in a way that, oh, like, no one's actually speaking about the nature of what I've just saw, but they're talking about,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's awesome, you know,
Yeah.
like there's no other elaborate.
Because also in some
Descriptors.
way, it also feels like those types of moments are very uninspired. Just like ooh, like quick, easy.
Give me an example. Give me an
Like,
example.
see, you guys were like, oh, it's like that Darth Vader scene, or like comparing it to other like big villains. Like, bro, they obviously use that as inspiration. Like,
I
you
saw a
can't
lot
ex-
of inspiration being used
like
by Harry
very
Potter.
different like
from-
levels. Like, okay, the Harry Potter and Voldemort like
Yeah,
type
the
of thing.
Horcrux.
They're-
Will
they're-
being the Horcrux
Yeah.
of
They're like
Even the color scheme, the color
makes
is
sense,
like,
like-
Yeah,
that I will like take in. Like that makes sense. Like how they're both connected in ways and
Yeah.
stuff. But like if you're like gonna compare it to like Darth Vader and these big, like grand original like villains and whatnot, like calm down.
No, I mean, to be, in a fair sense, we can assume that Vecna is gonna be a modern villain, like similar to how Darth Vader was for the 80s.
Yeah.
So this show will probably head to that direction where we see peak. I mean, it's not ended yet, so we can really wait for it. Yeah.
I can see him shaking.
See,
his
but
head.
see,
Yeah.
me, I come best. I like to take best of both worlds. Like
Right.
there are like I'll give you examples. For me, like I will recommend stuff and enjoy stuff based on how it makes me feel. Like if a hype moment is just a hype moment, unoriginal, let it be unoriginal.
Yeah.
But it gets me and an audience in a crowd packed theater to have like a reaction. You know, if it gets a reaction out of whether it be a laugh, whether it be a cheer, whether it be all of us crying,
Yeah.
that is a good moment. Like that is
I
a
love
sell.
moments like that.
That's a sell for me.
Yeah.
Even if that movie might just be straight up slop.
Yeah.
Like because Venom,
Yeah.
my guilty pleasure films, like they are terrible, terrible films. But
Yeah.
I enjoy them. I enjoy them so much. Venom 1 is pure comedy gold in a sense. Even Venom Let There Be Carnage. The last one, I don't know, it went a bit crazy with The Last Dance. But they went crazy in a good way with the third act. But that's a whole other conversation to
Yeah.
have. And then you have movies like, see, these, enjoy them. And then I also like, let's say, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
I was bored, snooze fest,
Yeah.
but I will not deny that this is a masterpiece in filmmaking and storytelling.
Yeah.
So these are the two ends of the what do you say, the spectrum we
Yeah.
have. And I swing every way. If a movie has bad storytelling, I will appreciate the technical filmmaking part. Or if it's the vice versa, I appreciate that either. Like,
I
so
have
for me,
another.
that's how I base my reviews, my recommendations, and what I love of.
I have another example of like how you were talking about Venom. Like a more modern movie
Mm-hmm.
is Zootropolis 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I like people like really enjoy that movie, and I enjoy that so much with you guys.
Yeah.
No, but to your point, it's funny. Like, like again, like this is like Zootropolis is a movie that again, it's just traditional '90s movies where
Yeah.
animated movies can be enjoyed by adults
And
because
it's also like a type
Yeah.
of kids movie where they have these innuendos.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah, a
had
lot
like
of it.
we caught a lot of those moments.
yeah,
It
there were
was
so many
weird.
of those innuendos in there.
And even speaking of like
Yeah.
Easter eggs, there was a lot. I don't think so. If you guys caught on the Star Wars moment,
Yeah.
it's when the Power Bird kills, and it's like the
Yeah.
Han Solo death moment.
Yeah.
They mimic it exactly.
Yeah,
I
so-
love the Shining sequence as well.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Shining was
And
pretty
the
cool.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
Silence of the
even the
Lambs as well.
Ratatouille one was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the fact that Disney Animation were not too afraid to make fun of themselves throughout this entire movie was a pretty cool thing. And that's the thing, right? Like, those things are now considered risks
Yeah.
in 2025. Like, in fact, I don't know if any of you have seen this, and I'm pretty sure most of you haven't. Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh, I have it. I've
Yeah.
seen it. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
of course you
It's
have. I'm
such
sure you
a bad
have.
movie,
Yeah,
but
Dude,
it's
Where's
so
My
funny.
Car is a movie I cannot talk about on this
Yeah, yeah.
podcast for too long. But the creator was just literally just 2 days, couple of days ago saying that I will never get that movie greenlit.
Yeah.
Like I think Toxic Avengers, what you
Yeah.
guys saw
Yeah,
as well,
we did.
and I think a movie like that.
The original one. Have
yeah,
you seen it?
yeah, I've seen the original as well. Like,
Yeah.
I've not seen the new one, but I've seen the original. But I
Thank
know,
goodness you haven't seen it.
yeah, like it felt like a B movie, and they embraced being a B movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
but you see, like stuff like that is what made the 80s and 90s cinema so great
Yeah.
because they were willing to make a dark Tom and Jerry animated movie where they both talked.
What?
Oh yeah,
When?
yeah, literally Tom and Jerry the movie, the original hand drawn animated movie is where they both actually talk and save a girl. It is a very dark. It gets very dark. This movie.
When
Like-
did this come out?
This came out like I think 97, 98.
I need to
Wait,
watch
actually
this.
did come out.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
hear
yeah.
about this.
You have to watch Tom and Jerry the animated movie because it had everything to stereotypes. It had everything about like class warfare.
In the
This
damn
is-
kids movie.
In the missing kids. Yeah, it's about a missing kid, and then the kid is like as an heir to a fortune, and
What?
it's like a whole
Okay,
plot.
that's right.
And again, this is a Tom and Jerry
Peak.
movie.
And then you had
Not the one that we saw where they're in a hotel. Not
yeah,
not
yeah,
that
yeah.
going
one.
to an Indian wedding.
No, no, no. Literally, Tom becomes abandoned. Like Tom and Jerry both become abandoned because the owners leave them in the house.
I think I might
When-
have seen this.
Yeah, this is a very old cartoon, by
Yeah.
the way. And I'm bringing this up as an example, and I know we're diverging a bit from the topic, but to your point, like
Yeah.
I think when I watched those movies, I learned so much about the fact that missing kids have their faces on milk cartons as
Yeah.
well. That is where I learned it in a Tom and Jerry
I
cartoon.
had no idea. Of
Yeah.
this.
Like trust me, like you learn so much from this one cartoon. And back in Dubai, when parents were not watching their kids, whatever they were watching on NBC2, Tom and Jerry the movie came back. Ah, kids movie, great. And then we just sat there. We saw a kid nearly get killed in the movie, like almost dying in a fire. Like that's how
Yeah.
bad this movie gets. In fact, like, and we're just like watching it, like, and Tom and Jerry both speak. They communicate with each other. Like you can hear them talking in their native, like actual voices and stuff like that. And it's a real trip of a film.
The only time I remember any odd, like any like character talking Tom and Jerry is when they had that little mouse with the sword.
Oh yeah,
That's,
the gray mouse, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
that's the
yeah.
only one I remember.
Yeah.
Is that from the movie or no?
No, no,
that's
that's,
from the
not. It's just
cartoon,
Tom
right?
and Jerry.
But
That's
here's a
it.
topic
Yeah.
regarding Zootropolis 2.
Yeah.
I feel like from what came up like the latest news was how they said that like the Silence of the Lambs sequence they cut
yeah,
it
they
down
cut
so
out a
much.
whole big
Yeah.
I think by doing that, we're getting dumber as a society. How are you gonna like cut that out? I know it's like, oh, the kids will not understand it and stuff, but then like eventually when they grow up, like they're gonna get bits and pieces and like like get these references eventually, but still, like, how are you gonna like cut that out? And
I mean,
it's
it
just
did make
we're
perfect sense for
like
the sequence to be in the movie because Silence of
Yeah.
the
like it's a
Lambs.
good example to show how we're getting dumber and dumber, and like it's just like so weird. I found that whole like new piece of news so dumb.
So I see that's the thing, though, right? Like that's the literally the double-edged sword because your generation, and I keep prefacing to your generation. There's always going to be a subsection of people who know they're missing out on something,
Yeah,
right? Like I think right now with Gen Alphas, they're rediscovering the Walkman, the Discman. Like they're going back to old tech because they're so done with being stimulated online.
Yes.
Like it's like yeah, let's go offline. Like that's why they're like even flip phones are back. You know,
yeah.
so
I seen those.
like I think that's the thing, right? With the age of AI, and we should be living in the Wall-E world right now where they do our laundry and stuff, but instead,
Yeah,
the creative process is what's getting automated. And Darren, and in fact, like we've had many episodes about the whole AI topic, so I'm not going to get into it too much. But to your point, I think people like you, Hiba, like all three of you in that sense, because for us, I always say this, and I think a lot of people my age get upset about it because our time is over. And I say this definitively because we are no longer relevant in the sphere of the media because we are now in the middle between the boomers and you guys, right? In fact, if anything, our generation is known for seeking therapy to deal with in the face of the things, right? But when you have a voice in that sense, and you're suddenly saying that, see, you recognize this, right? And that's because you've
yeah,
been lucky enough to be exposed to 80s and 90s movies,
yeah.
knowing how good they are. And then you see what today's movies are like. In fact, what is the top five of this grossing for 2025? It's Neja 2, Minecraft movie,
Oh yeah, what the
Zootropolis is
heck?
on track.
Zootropolis now,
600
600
million.
million
And-
opening
On
weekend
what?
yeah, on a
in
weekend.
2025.
And
It
and-
beat Superman in like the first 3 days of
Yeah.
its box office, which is
I'm
crazy
not
to think.
surprised. And
Yeah.
FNAF 2 as well. That's gonna
and
make
FNAF
me
2 as well.
mad.
And FNAF as well. Like again,
Yeah.
that's a movie I thought would never get made.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
It
I'll
shouldn't
play
have.
I,
That's another
expected
thing.
As a FNAF fan, I was
So-
hoping for a FNAF movie.
yeah,
Then.
and that's a funny thing because even when the premiere happened, in fact, I think they had a very interesting strategy in the US. They invited all the FNAF YouTubers.
Yeah.
The ones
Yes.
they were the first ones invited, then the critics got called.
And then for the second one, they had FNAF YouTubers
Yeah.
be in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And plus
Yeah,
Megan
yeah.
Fox.
Yeah.
They had that
And
guy
Megan.
Corey Kenshin and
Yeah.
Matt Pat
Yeah.
and all
And-
these guys.
And
Because essentially they understand what carries the movies, and the
Yeah.
whole generation is obsessed with FNAF.
yeah, but here's my question to you guys. Do mass audiences care?
No.
No, that's what's wrong with the movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like, who are you making this movie for?
Yeah.
Right? And I liked the first Five Nights at Freddy's because it was funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, the idea of Chuck E. Cheese dolls being cursed and eating kids.
When
I mean,
I watched,
ideally, no, it's
I
like
did
an
not like it at
introduction.
all
Yeah.
because like what happened?
Yeah.
Like see what I played the first two games and what I loved about the game was the thrill of surviving the night.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the whole concept.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't big on the lore and all
Yeah.
this stuff which other kids are, as we can see because of the success of the film, like they're into that stuff.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see like Josh Hutcherson sit down, listen to Whistle by Florida, and survive the night
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and
now it's
get
become.
jump scares and
but
make
now
a
it's
good horror
become-
movie.
and
But
now-
no,
Yeah.
that's
No,
Like-
ideally, how I see it as it's like an introduction to horror for this generation, so that they can watch this and then discover the other movies.
But still, there was a lot of movies like that. Like in terms of modern horror,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good PG-13. This is a very Blumhousey-esque horror. I mean, yeah, it's made by Blumhouse, but
Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
that's like it's like it shows what's wrong with Blumhouse's
Yeah.
horror movies. A lot
Yeah.
of Blumhouse horror movies is like,
Not really
oh
horror.
my god,
yeah.
what the hell is this? Cliches, tropes, and non-scary jump scares, and like easy jump scares for the audience to be like and then,
which
like,
FNAF
ah.
2 has a lot of very
yeah,
bad
that's what I'm
jump
even
scares.
basing this
Like
off
you're
of.
just seeing McKenna Grace out of nowhere, out
Yeah.
of nowhere in like bad makeup.
Yeah,
I see.
exactly. That caught me so off guard. It was so
I was like,
weird.
I'm looking at this. I'm someone who gets scared easily. You know this. You know this.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there laughing. I'm like, what is this?
Genuinely
to watch
funnier
this
than the
movie.
first movie. It was so funny.
But yeah, like
What's a good horror movie in the modern time? What you would recommend,
for gateway, like a entry in
Yeah.
for young horror.
or even like a good horror movie that you've seen recently?
Okay, like recent modern horror, I'm not too caught up on
Okay.
because I like it
Or
feels like
stuff like Sinners or Weapons, which is the generic ones.
Sinners. I wouldn't really even count it as a horror.
Ah,
Like
fair enough.
that's just me
Yeah.
because it's more like a vampire thriller type of movie. You can't like that's like such a tip of the iceberg type of beginner type of horror movie.
Mhm.
But like for like more in the modern times, I love Evil Dead Rise, um, When Evil Lurks. But these are very 18 plus type movies. I'm not good at naming like PG-13 horror movies. I'm sure I've seen really good ones,
Mhm.
and like but even the other really good ones are from like the 80s, like and these kind of stuff. Like there's this one called House, like not the popular one from the 70s, the Japanese one,
Yeah.
but there's this one horror movie called House, and it's so funny, and it's a very like PG-13 type of, yeah, it is a PG-13 horror movie, and
Is it
it's
you're
safe.
talking about the animated movie?
No, it's
Okay.
a like live action.
No,
Okay.
that is Monster House.
Yeah,
That's
Monster
Monster House.
House.
My
Yeah.
bad.
One
Yeah.
of my
It's from
favorite
like the
ones, actually.
80s, and it just gave me like I watched it in October. It gave me a lot of Evil Dead 2 vibes. This other horror movie called Brain Dead type of vibes as well. That like these types of movies, like Evil Dead 2, even I would say it's safe to watch,
For kids.
like for kids and whatnot.
No, that's a
And,
very gory. Man. I've seen.
like no, they even like utilize it in a way where you can't see much of the gore. It's just
No,
like
you can't see the kills, but you see a lot of gore.
yeah, no blood.
Yeah, that is gore.
Yeah, I mean like blood, but like the gore is like off screen.
For him, gore is like a step above.
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
not enough.
yeah.
Whole another level.
That's not,
But yeah,
yeah.
House is a very safe movie to watch. Like, see, take this as a recommendation. House, like, if you want to watch like with your younger ones or like,
What do you mean younger ones? I'm not that old.
no, I mean like
He's just flexing
younger,
his age
general
right now.
younger people in your life or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to introduce them to horror, like that is a good.
But among
PG-13
all
horror.
the movie, like you've seen quite a few movies, but what is the one that you pride the most on that you wouldn't mind rewatching again?
Like not even PG-13.
No,
Evil Dead
like
2.
literally, like
Honest.
what is the one movie that you always go back to?
Yeah, Evil Dead too.
Evil Dead. 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to rewatch The Shining. I haven't seen that in a while. I
Yeah.
always say that that's my second favorite horror movie ever.
After Evil
But
Dead
I
2.
haven't. Yeah, after Evil Dead 2, but I haven't seen it in a while. It's such a perfect horror movie, especially Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 has such a high rewatchability. Don't even know if that's a real word.
In your opinion, what makes a good horror movie? What are you looking for?
Soulful practical effects, genuine scares that make sense, especially writing wise, and like a genuinely good story that keeps you hooked. And it comes to the terms of what type of genre that the horror movie is in. Like if it's a horror comedy or
A slasher.
a slasher as well, or like slasher you could easily delve into being like if you're gonna make a slasher nowadays, it could easily be uninspiring.
Yeah, but I like what
Like
they did with the
Thanksgiving.
Scream franchise, which was
Yeah.
like pretty. They made fun of themselves in the movies,
Yeah,
but
they
like
did, but like now Scream 7 is coming out,
Yeah.
and like what the hell, like not gonna watch that shit.
no, I feel the past two were really good. 6 and 7 like really good. Six.
What do you mean 6 and 7? Bro, those memes are brain rotting.
You've obviously, you obviously look at movies very different from like most of your peers in that sense. But my biggest argument now is like we're now in 2025. We have another Avatar movie. We have Zootropolis 2. We have all sequels, right?
Yeah,
Like originality as a concept is fading away. like-
steeping down.
Yeah,
yeah.
but which is very interesting because at a time, I think in the early 2010s to the
Yeah.
20s, action movies were always at top of the box office, and if anything that's drive audiences to cinemas were the big blockbuster action movies. But in recent times, same thing what happened with Inside Out 2 and Zootropolis. $1 billion out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
then the focus is obviously shifting towards different stuff. And with also the acquisition of Warner Bros, cinema is gonna be heavily damaged. That's what I feel personally.
I mean, it remains to be said, right? Because I think Warner Brothers already, the fact that they're being bought by Netflix, they're already took themselves there in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
which bugs me. It bugs me because this whole news is bugging me as well because this year we have banger after banger Warner
Warner
Brothers
Brother
movies.
movie. I don't think they've had one.
No.
No, they had a failure, a grand failure with
Yeah.
the best movie of the year.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
One battle after another.
One bad
Yeah,
after
that was
another.
like their death rattle after
But what a movie!
Yes,
Um,
but that
Yeah.
kind of movie, it's a tragedy
Yeah,
that it will
it's-
never get appreciated the way it should have.
Yes.
At least that's what I think. Because again, top five, one's an animated movie, one's a Chinese animated movie again, and it just
And one is a live action.
like I
remake.
wouldn't be surprised now with this acquisition that Paramount might say,
Yeah.
"Oh, great, we're making the next Fortnite movie, like we're doing Fortnite."
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
I wouldn't be
surprised if that's in the
surprised.
next 4
Yeah.
years.
But also another thing about One Battle After Another
Yeah,
is like it's politically correct movie.
Yes.
But then like a bunch of politically incorrect people would
We're
be
going
like,
there.
"Ah,
We are
like,
going there.
F this movie, like this, like they just want to see it the wrong way, and then they'll be like, those like majority of that group like wouldn't want to watch the movie, and then I think that also plays a factor as to what pushes like that movie as to being a bit iffy on like both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes people would just choose not to watch the movie. I guess.
So
If I put it right.
my question then is to you. This is your personal opinion on this. I won't ask if there's hope for us yet in cinema, but what do you want to see different? Like, what do you think should be done,
Okay.
at least from a storytelling perspective?
I don't mind sequels and whatnot sometimes, but we need to stop with the sequels for a while. We need more original movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think one best idea is if like some sort of distribution, like for genuinely good movies that aren't available to be distributed worldwide. Like that, like I'll give two examples. One movie I haven't seen, but one movie I have seen, the Sydney Sweeney movie Christie, that didn't do too good in the box office, especially because it didn't release here. But I know here, like the box office doesn't have that much, but still. The other one, which is I have seen, it's called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Oh, the one that came
Oh
out
Oh my
recently.
2024.
god! But it was like released like recently online on Apple TV, and I just jumped the gun and I bought the movie, and I even though it was very pricey because it doesn't have a proper distribution, I watched it, took the risk. 10 out of 10 movie. I wish that movie released in theaters. Like that's one movie like that just proves
Is it
like my
horror?
point. It's like a thriller, surrealism type of movie, very Charlie Kaufman-esque type of movie as well. But oh my god, second best movie of the year for me personally. Like,
What's your first?
because one battle after another,
okay.
obviously. but
Undoubtedly.
yeah, if you haven't seen, if I had oh my
Legs
god,
I'd kick.
if
I
I
had
had
like-
legs, I'd take you. Yeah, it's a very weird name. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, highly recommend. And yeah, that's just like an example of what we need more movies like that, and we need some sort of distribution system to get those movies released more in the USA and here as well.
See, that's what Netflix come and says like, okay, we'll do the
But they'll
distribution.
bring slop.
No, 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 no. I'm saying Netflix comes in and says we'll do the distribution, and they can get movies they can make it accessible for audiences across the globe.
Yeah, but you're
But-
forgetting something though.
But
Yeah.
this takes
Away
you
the
out of
original
the experience
experience.
Yeah.
of going and watching a film in theater, and then now you're brought back to the loop where now I have access to all this media I could watch. Okay, movies like what's this movie called?
If I had legs, I'd kick
Yeah,
you,
and then you go on a binge spree, and then you've consumed all
Yeah.
this content, and then you're like, okay, I don't want to go to the cinema anymore,
yeah.
and that experience is dying, and then that keeps it's a domino effect on
Yeah, but also
creativity
we're
in
looking
general.
at a company that goes not by anything else other than an algorithm. Like you can have a sleeper hit, like a conspiracy, like Inside Job.
Mhm.
Great show, well received, wins an Emmy. Like not wins an Emmy, gets nominated for an Emmy, and then they cancelled. Literally the extent because it didn't pull enough viewers. Like Netflix has that kind of power,
Mhm.
right? Like what the reason why I
Yeah.
like Fox Searchlight.
Even sorry
Yeah.
for cutting you off, but
Yeah.
Dexter Original Sin,
Yeah.
that show got cancelled. As
Yeah,
well, but
exactly. So
yeah.
like you are now again, this is Warner Brothers Discovery that makes hits after they makes hits, but do we trust Netflix to believe in what they're making? And that's my problem right now. Like, and not just them, but streaming. See, for me, streaming was a mode of a convenience. It was a means to an end. It was a COVID era
Mhm.
thing, And I truly think, like, if you track the trajectory of how movies and TV,
Mm-hmm.
media in general, like, it became all about, okay, we've given the end consumer, aka us, the people who are watching it, the convenience of just not going to a cinema anymore.
And that's very
Yeah.
interesting because I had this conversation in my uni as well.
Yeah.
And I asked my friends, what makes you not go to the cinema? Like, what do you prefer watching movies at home? They're like, it's just because it's so convenient that you can literally pick up your iPad
Yeah.
and go on
No.
Netflix, which is absolutely the worst sentence I could
Yeah.
hear all year. I was like, this generation does not understand the impact of cinema that we really have. Like, they don't understand how perfect of an experience it is to sit in a dark room and be transported in this world of movies. And for them, it's as easy as just picking up an iPad and watching a movie, which is the worst thing you can possibly
Yeah.
See,
do.
like for me, I was lucky enough that I still remember this. I was 3.5 years old, I believe, when Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2. I'm not gonna say Tobey Maguire. Sorry, let me rephrase. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2
Yeah.
comes out in theaters. I still remember. I'm three and a. How many of you guys remember your memories from 3.5 years old when you were three?
I remember
I
Pirates
remember
of the
bits and
Caribbean
pieces.
as
Yeah,
well.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one scene, Doc Ock on the top of the
Oh, the
Chrysler building,
transition.
and the
Yeah, yeah.
transition from the like 3-year-old me can
Masterpiece.
remember that type of filmmaking, like technical
Yeah.
filmmaking.
Yeah.
That goes on to say, like, when you know how to deliver through a visual medium,
Yeah.
no one would want to experience that in the most mediocre format.
Yeah.
Like example, I watched. I'm gonna get so much shit for this. I watched Interstellar on mobile for the first time.
I'll never forget that.
Oh my gosh.
Because my friend, I'm hugely big on science, and my friend was like, "You should watch it." It was COVID times. I had a laptop, I had a mobile phone. That's it. And I
See, I
just
can't give you too much grief for it, right? Because when Interstellar came out, like, people were like, did not know what to make of this movie at all, to be
yeah,
fair.
okay.
And a lot of people discovered it through other mediums as well, not just through, like, the way of mentioning. So I can't give you too much grief for it. But with that being said, however, like, for you, your 3-year-old experience was Spider-Man. Mine
Yeah.
was Jurassic Park.
Oh.
Oh.
Like, literally, we had, I believe this is before your time, obviously, we had, like, the closest cinema, which is now gone, was called Al Nasser Cinema.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, like, the news now, the entire area is now being demolished at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was literally me watching Jurassic Park on the big screen, because up until then we were watching things on VHS. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even get to watch Lion King on cinema until
No
like
way.
10 years later. I got to see it on VHS
Yeah.
on a small TV. That's how I saw
So
Lion
when
King.
you go there and the sound affects you,
Yeah.
you're immersed in a world.
No,
Like
it's
that's an
morely
unreal
the
feeling.
experience, It's everything from
Yeah.
the way you get your popcorn to the walk into the cinema, the lights, the
And
trailers
it's
that play
also
before
like
the movie.
like sometimes I think about this like when I'm watching a movie at home with people and then like I compare it to watching it in a cinema. You're just like watching it in a cinema is like a more grand version. You're just watching it with random people
Yeah.
and stuff, and you get a more beautiful experience. Like it just feels weird. Like you're just like in a bigger home.
Yeah,
like
no,
watching it with
that
more
happened with me
people.
as well. So what I do is to immerse myself. I even play the IMAX intro before I watch a movie to make it feel like I'm inside the
Yeah.
cinema
Yeah.
as
At
well.
home?
Yeah, at home. I
That's
need to
so
get the
weird.
proper experience, so I play the IMAX intro, the countdown, and everything before I watch a movie.
And then as time has passed, like I've become very particular with like where I watch my movies.
Yeah, and that's a
Yeah.
good thing, actually. And also, it's a good and bad thing, I wanted to say, because now, no other experience is going to cut it for you, right? Like,
Sorry? Yeah.
like
No other, yeah.
it's a very specific experience, and I think that's the thing. We're spoiled for choice because now we have IMAX, we have Dolby, we have the Roxy screen, which is the Roxy Extreme screen. Like, we have so many options here, right?
Yeah.
And now I believe there's another IMAX opening up
Yeah,
in
and
Abu Dhabi.
Yasmol.
In Yasmol. So Yasmol gets an IMAX as well.
Apparently it's gonna be the biggest.
The biggest one as well.
in
So you
the
guys are
UAE.
now
Yeah, I heard as well.
you're based from Abu Dhabi, so
I
you're more
hope it's
lucky.
seventy
Because my
mm.
favorite screen
Yeah.
in this country
Galleria.
is also in
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
The IMAX in
But
Galleria
it's a
Mall.
fun little story as well about IMAX screens because I've seen all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the one, and this is very hotly contested because this was very short lived, the Maidan IMAX.
Oh.
And I
that
think
was
I
a
would have
70 mm.
killed-
IMAX,
there was a
by the
70
way.
mm. That was true 70
Where was
mm. It was just in Maidan. This was like a very short lived cinema
Yeah.
that for legal reasons I can't get into as to why it's no longer there. But again, it was like a proper 4:3
Mhm.
aspect ratio. And I saw Batman,
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight on that
Oh.
God.
screen. And
I'm
I
jealous.
remember everyone in the cinema just had that collective, that whoa,
Yeah.
that whoa moment. And I think the only other time that any other movie has given me that whoa moment was probably The Hobbit, when they were
Mm-hmm.
shooting at that very specific frame rate, 48 frames per second. And
48 frames
not
is
48
very.
frames. It
It's
was not no, it was not 24. It was like a high frame rate.
45, I think. Yeah.
45, I believe. It was like a high frame rate version of the movie that was released.
that's great.
It was like it was a weird way to
Yeah.
watch it,
It
but
gave you that experience.
yeah, and that Maidan
So
screen,
weird.
that Maidan screen was like the last time I remember feeling that euphoric feeling about watching that plane sequence when they jump off.
Yeah.
Because he's filmed certain scenes in IMAX and
Oh, you're saying Dark Knight Rises?
yeah,
Oh.
that one.
Oh
The
my God.
Bane.
Hearing
one of the
Bane go up and say the fire rises, bro, I would have
Yeah.
lost my shit.
Yeah, so, and I think that's what I guess that the responsibility we have as people, especially when I review movies,
Hmm.
is to tell people and use your collective intelligence and your wallet to like, yes, this is worth your investment and money. Please go watch this in the cinema.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably the least we could do with the amount of like, the trust that the people have put into us. And
No,
the
I
fact,
say this every day.
Yeah.
Cinema over any streaming service. Like I can say this
Any-
without
any day.
any day.
so
No, but sometimes there's some skips here and there.
yeah, so
Even for me, there is no bad watch in a cinema
Yeah.
because even for a bad movie, I will still go in the theaters to check it out for myself.
I,
Yeah.
I disagree with you.
No,
I
for
disagree
me,
with
there is no such thing as a bad movie in the cinema. That's what I feel
How?
because the cinematic experience for me is a different.
yeah, but there is such a
medium.
thing as buyer's remorse.
because I wouldn't want anyone to figure out what happened last summer. That is not something
Okay, okay.
I want to,
Okay,
to
okay.
let anyone go through.
Those are exceptions. I'd agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, final thoughts, obviously, sounding off, and thank you so much again once for being here as well. What what are you excited for now? Like, at least in your little world of what in cinema?
I don't know. I'm excited for Morty Supreme.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just in a weird place in life. Therapy session. No.
No.
But the easiest answer I can give is Morty Supreme.
Okay.
Like I'm not like okay, yeah. There's Avatar as well, but I still haven't seen the first one.
Oh,
you're
wow,
missing.
okay.
You're
Yeah.
missing. You're
You're
missing.
I'm
missing,
sure.
Not
But yeah.
story wise, cinematic or
I would say
visually wise.
everything,
Visually
everything.
wise.
Yeah.
Everything wise.
But I've seen the second movie at least.
Okay.
But yeah, Morty Supreme is the one that comes off the top of my head easily.
hmm
But yeah,
And yeah, okay. So for the viewers out there, like, because your film taste is very, very, I would say, avant-garde for your age, for your age,
Stop
for your
saying
age,
that.
for your age. But what's 3 movies you are like, okay, I need you guys to watch this?
Oh god.
Evil Dead 2 again in the list.
No.
I would assume Mulholland Drive would be one of them.
Okay. I'll include the David Lynch movie, but it not be Mulholland Drive. I'll just say Blue Velvet,
Close.
Okay.
a movie that really is very close to me. Eternal Sunshine of the
It's
Spotless Mind.
Okay.
This one would be a very easy third one because the sequel is coming out. They're gonna like start production sometime soon. Leonardo DiCaprio confirmed that he's gonna star in it.
Oh,
Yes,
I know
yes.
which one he's talking about.
Heat.
Heat 2.
And that was recommended to me. Heat
Yeah.
1 was recommended
Yeah.
to me by
Heat, not Heat
Majeeto.
1.
Yeah, Heat.
It's
I
like
mean,
saying-
it is the
Now
same.
you're
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
Heat 2, so I'm saying Heat.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
I know.
gonna make it clear. Heat 1,
Yeah, yeah,
what a movie.
Yeah.
I got to watch it in the private theater we usually watch movies in. Holy, that was an experience.
Michael Mann never has any bad movies. Like, if I give any bonus recommendations, I'll just say Michael Mann's entire filmography, Brian De Palma's entire filmography, and all
Okay,
of
let's not
those-
go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the episode. Thank
Yeah.
you, Majeeto, for coming.
Where
It's an
can
honor.
where can the general public find you?
At home, I'm joking. On Instagram, Majeeto__. That's even my TikTok username. And then on YouTube, it's Majeeto as well.
And your
yeah.
show. You
Yeah,
never
yeah,
mentioned about
Mojito
your
with
show.
Majeeto. That's on my YouTube channel as well. I love that show. I love working on that show. So yeah, you can check out Mojito with Majeeto on my YouTube channel, and hopefully
Any teaser for that?
no,
No? Okay.
But
Okay,
hopefully-
we're under NDA, I
no,
guess.
no under any NDA. But I'm just still at a weird place in life. I was so busy, but hopefully, before the end of December, I'm gonna try to get at least 2 interviews for
out
my
there.
show.
That's
So
cool. That's cool.
fingers crossed.
Let's see.
But
Amazing.
yeah,
So that is Mojito
With
with the
the
culture
Culture
circuit,
Circuit,
yeah.
without any mojitos on the table, and
Yeah,
we shall
just
see you
liquid.
at the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.